Today at COP26, world leaders and activists are turning their attention to nature. Two people who have seen firsthand how our changing climate is impacting nature are the Pattiz Brothers.
They've traveled to more than 60 national parks and are coming to us live this morning from Sequoia National Park in Arizona. So thank you so much for joining us and letting us in on your adventures. First and foremost, what are some of the biggest changes that you guys have witnessed when visiting our beautiful national parks?
Yeah, thanks so much for having us. I would say right off the bat, wildfires are one of the craziest things that we've seen during our lifetime that have dramatically changed. I remember when we were first visiting the parks, especially the West Coast parks, you could go and pretty much schedule a trip anytime. Now, fire season is so long that if you're planning a trip to the parks in the summer, you have to have a lot of contingencies because of fires. That's one of the good ones. Glaciers probably as well. Yep.
So, you know, when talking to the regular people that haven't been to all the parks, what do you tell them? What do you tell them to do if they're thinking about bringing their kids or their grandkids? What do you want to see happen across America to kind of save these resources?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely a complex answer, but I think one of the things we need to be doing is we need to be reducing our carbon emissions, and we need to be managing our forests properly so that we can save some of these places. I mean, one of the places is in Sequoia National Park. You know, you're seeing devastating wildfires just in the past couple of years, just roaring through this park and the national forests and everything. And these are fires that are being caused by man-made, operations and things that we've done. And so I think as human beings, we need to step up and take responsibility for this and aggressively try and protect these last few special places we have.
And they really are special. We want to hear about some of the national parks and forests that you visited. I'm sure you have a lot of memorable adventures that you can share with us.
Yeah, it's great. One of the best places to see these adventures is on our website, which is just going to be morethanjustparks.com. Right now we're in Sequoia, and this is just a typical day in the office for us. We love this park. It's a great one to check out in the fall and in the winter, obviously because of the temperatures. But I mean, just personally speaking, I lived in Portland, Oregon for a long time. Olympic National Park is just up there in Washington on the coast, one that I highly recommend. You have a favorite?
Yeah, I mean, I was mentioning it earlier. Sequoia National Park is one of my favorites, and I think you want to see it with some of those giants still there, some of those groves intact. I mean, you want to try and get out there now. And the winter is a great time, especially with those long wildfire seasons. They still get a good snowpack in that area, and so the winter is a great time to see that park. Another one of my favorites is Voyageurs National Park up in northern Minnesota. It's spectacular in the fall, totally changes in the winter, and it's also beautiful in the summer. Great fishing opportunities up there.
You know, you mentioned some of the changes you've seen, like big wildfire seasons or glaciers that are retreating. So Glacier National Park may not have glaciers at some point in the future. But, I was struck by a story I saw recently about the rainfall rates really affecting the national parks. Acadia National Park lost some of their bridges, lost some of their main features, giant boulders, washed away because the rainfall rates are getting just that extreme. In your, experience, are the parks able to keep up with the trails changing and the safety that visitors would need to be, would need to have to feel comfortable hiking through the parks when the environment is changing as fast as it is?
Yeah, I would say one of the most important things that we can do in a project that Jim and I have worked on closely with the Park Service in the past is adding funds to the Park Service's budget. I mean, these are things like chatting with your congresspeople and stuff where just these sort of things, these infrastructure changes that you mentioned, the parks are severely underfunded. And so it's tough because we can complain that, oh, well, we're not doing this, we're not managing for that. But the bottom line is the funding just is not there currently. It's not been made enough of a priority to save some of these places. And so you'll look at like a place like Lake Powell, where just in this past year, they had to start removing boats, and some houseboats and just different boats in general were stranded in the lake because it happened so fast. And that's happening, as you said, all across the country.
Well, Jim, thank you so much for joining us this morning and sharing just a small piece of the wonderful adventures you've had.
Thanks for having us.
And so,